so the Java SDK, update from last community event. So yeah, so it's no experimental. So I think it's better than preview, but it's still not finished. We still have a lot of stuff to add. And what I will show is basically based on the 16.2 version. I think if it's not already out, it will be probably today or something like that. So that will be soon the main version. So just a refresh, on the beginning, just Dagger init -- SDK Java, and you can have that stuff. So the very default module example, but we'll see that a bit more. What we added, so the first thing is to use the optional object in Java. So instead of nullable annotation, that wasn't really good. So this is pretty great because we're just using more of the Java stuff directly. It's not always the right one. Optional is a bit weird in the way that it will not expose the default value to the Dagger API. So sometimes we just want to use the default one. But yeah, that's a nice addition. We also added the default path in ignore annotation. So when we want to share directories, to specify, which one by default, what kind of, oh yeah, and that's just a little mistake in the ignore. It should be an array, but yeah, we can just ignore files or directories, subdirectories, etc. The other addition in the 16.2 is the constructor and the fields. So this is really good, to create more complex modules, to where we can like initialize some fields at the beginning and have all the different functions that will reuse that stuff. So it's really useful when we want to share a source directory and then have a lot of different calls and different functions behind. And yeah, that's what the main one, but let's just go to demo because I think that's what people like. So we'll see if the God are great with that. So the first thing, I just try several different kind of Java projects. So I picked the PetClinic from Spring. That's just a default example. So I'll just create a new one. Just that is my Dagger development. So it's just waiting for the release. But let's say it's the same thing. So SDK Java. And I will just put that inside the Dagger.
I will say, Yves, you got some serious props here for having your slides in the terminal a second ago. So
yeah,
nicely done.
Yeah, the slides in terminal are pretty great. One thing we noticed from last time is it was way quicker. So we also added some cache inside the runtime. So like it doesn't take like 12 or 20 seconds as before. So it's way better. So let's jump into this one. So this is the default. The application is the default Spring PetClinic, and we'll just see how we can build that. So I just remove, the default code. So the goal is just to expose on the host the service running. So let's just build a quick function that will return a service because that's on the Dagger world. The way to expose it on the side, on the host. So this, and just to make it easy, I will just say that this is my default path. The one from the module where I'm inside, and I just, that's not ignore. I just need that stuff, just to avoid issue with Maven, basically. But I have my directory. So that's just the beginning. What we want now is to build that with Maven and run it. So Java running, Dagger running Java. That's the idea. So just take a container, from Maven. We'll just Maven. We'll keep that simple. Just some cache because, Maven, a lot to download each time. Cache volume, let's say Maven. And I will just, oops. Okay. Put the source directory there. And now what we want is to build the Java application itself. Yeah, I'll just remove the clean, even if it's not really important. But yeah, so that's what I want. I mean, I have my container from Maven. I'm just running Maven package. And I will just return it, in a way it can be run on the host. So no, not with exec. I want to expose the pod 8080. And this time I want as a service. New, whoops. As service. And I will just put the command. So it will be Java. And it's almost that, just the version that's not the right one. For the snapshot. Okay, and if I return that, yes, I should be able to just add call. I don't have, to specify the directory because that's just based on the annotation. Service up. And we'll just say if that's quick enough. Maybe it will just depend on Maven and my cache.
Tell us about, just really quick, your IDE setup that you're using, and you have some kind of looks like you have some kind of code besides the LSP. You have some kind of some AI assistant happening there as well.
Yeah, so it's IntelliJ IDE. I just have the JetBrains AI enabled on my machine. So that just help on that, but all the completion is not with AI. It's just the basic stuff. It's working in VS Code also. It's just a little bit harder, but that should work. So the main thing is when we initialize, the module, we'll fill a lot of files inside the target generated sources. That's all the file generated, all the SDK, all the modules, like if we have dependency and all that stuff. So like we can see, all the different types. And so it will be out of the box with IntelliJ. We have an extra configuration for VS Code. It's inside the pom.xml, so you don't have to do anything. That should work by default, but it's a bit more tricky. And you should have, the completion by itself. So the completion is made using these files and not like POM on your Maven local folder or whatever. This is fully autonomous on this side.
Oh, nice.
So that works. So if I just have, my browser, yeah. This is really basic, but yeah, that works. The thing is, most of the time, that's not exactly what you want, because I'm building inside Maven and I'm just running the Maven image, so it's big, it's useless. So the next step we can do here is just to split that in two roughly. So just to make it quicker, I will just take that stuff and I will replace that, but just like an Eclipse image, Eclipse Tamarind. But basically what I'm doing is just, I want the same thing as a multi-stage build in a Docker file. So I will just create new function also. That is, I will return the file. The function is just oops. File. Do you want? Yes. And I will just put the same. Yes, that should be good. So I'm just building the same thing, and I will just return the file. That is
I was thinking the same thing that Solomon said. I was like, oh yeah, I can say that I can write Java now, using the Dagger API. It's
one thing that is really cool is, as everything is generated from the same components, whatever if you read like Java in that case, or Go module, or I don't know, PHP 1 and TypeScript 1, that's just the exact same concept. So that makes the thing really easy. So in that case, this is really easy because I have my Eclipse Tamarind, and I can just say that, okay, I have a new file. Oops, that is, I will call that app.jar, and this is the jar function. And I just need to change that stuff also. Jar. And I think that's just the exceptions. All right, so I should be able to just rerun again. One of the cool things is sometimes, for instance, it will not be necessarily the same people working on the tool. Like if you have to generate the production image, that's not necessarily the same question than just the image you're using to build. I don't know, for instance, you can have a team that is working on that. And what is really cool is like you can put that in a different module maintained by other people, like writing that in Go, because that's the DevOps team. And your Java team will be responsible on this area where you want to add all your Java tools and all that stuff. And yeah, that's working. I think if I go there, I can just refresh. Yeah, okay. Sorry, that was the first part of the demo. We'll do another one. We had a question the other day, like, hey, does it work with Quarkus and GraalVM? I never worked with Quarkus and GraalVM, so I just say, okay, let's try it. So I just clone the quick start from Quarkus. So that just, there's a lot of stuff, so we just keep the getting started first. So we'll just do the same thing. SDK Java source Dagger.
And we have a question for you, Yves, about how it's all put together. Essentially from Patrick, he's wondering, is the SDK, should people think about it as these generated, .java files, or is there some kind of jar file that it comes pre-baked as?
Yeah, right now it's just Java files. There's no packages shared or published anywhere. One of the main reasons is we need to generate based on the types. Like we will do right now. I will install a new module, so the code will use this module, but this module can be in any language. But it will be we will generate some Java code to be able to handle that new module. We'll probably have some parts published as on Maven Central, the part that will never change, but we'll still have that stuff. But the thing is, it's completely hidden. Like you don't need Java on your machine. You need nothing. Except Dagger. Everything will be inside the runtime of the Java SDK, so you don't have to download anything. Directly on your machine to run the Java code. So that's pretty good. So one thing I want to show with this demo is also we can use modules, because I think that's the way it will be used most of the time. So instead of writing in that case, I want this Maven version, I want where is my Maven or can I use the Maven wrapper or whatever? I will just, let me just pass that. I just install. So it's just an experimentation. It's just a Java module I'm working on. But you'll see how it start to be really interesting. Like to have someone in a team working on Java specific module, maybe even a module dedicated for a specific company, and then it makes the writing of the module very easy. It's that Dagger. Let me just go that. Okay. So at the beginning, the same thing. The way the quick start is done is, I mean, the repository from Quarkus is, there's a lot of example. So what we want is just to specify, I mean, the one we want to build and just build it. So it's function. We'll just return a service as before. I will just call that app. This time I want to know, I mean, I'm not putting any annotation. I just want to know the directory. And we'll do something different. So now I have this Java module. So that's another one external to this project. And the cool thing is, like, I already have a Graal VM container with everything set up inside. For instance, it will use the Maven wrapper by default, so you don't have to specify anything. With this, that's the directory. And I have this Maven exec command, so I don't have to worry about where is Maven, is it installed, etc. And I don't. And in that case, that's a bit different because with Quarkus will not generate, at least by default, like a jar with all the dependencies. So what we want is just a directory with the jar and the other dependencies and all that stuff. So that's why we don't just call package. I mean, we'll install that. And so we want the directory that is target Quarkus app. And we'll put that in generated app in a variable. And now we want to run it. And the same thing, I mean, I have everything set up inside the module. So Dagger Java. I have my runtime. And I can say, okay, I have my with app directory, that is my generated app. With app work there. And the rest is, as before, I just want to expose my port. And I will just give the command to run. That's, yeah, that should be this one. So yeah, so the cool thing there, I mean, I will just launch it because sometimes it can be a bit slow. So it's app and SSE getting started, and up just to have it done. Oh yeah, that call. Sorry. So the that's not this one. Yeah. So the cool thing is you can, I mean, you can have different people working on that. Like you can have someone working directly on the module, doing all the stuff inside. And so if you have your Java application, I mean, just a matter of few calls. Even that stuff, I mean, like if you always do the same thing, I mean, that could be only one single call, and that stuff also. So that's where it starts to be really interesting.
That's awesome. Like, yeah, again, that separation of duties there makes a lot of sense, and the ability to kind of craft something that works best in your organization makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And there it is. It's even running.
Yeah, exactly.